Hi, everybody. Happy spring. The weather's been wonderful and sunny. We had a beautiful sunny day, and I am just cannot wait to get into springtime. And so I have three little springtime projects here that I thought I would share with you. And one, I have a little, I'm going to do a little makeover on this is my very first recipe box, you guys. I have had this since probably for at least 30 years, and it's been very well loved. I want to take this label off. I started to take this side off, then I realized I want to show it to you before I totally take it apart. It's a very cute little box, but I've well outgrown this and feeding a family for 20 some years. And so I'm going to do a little makeover on this. It's going to be something cute for the garden. I have a cute little pair of boots. Okay, Lorraine boots have always been a big deal here at our house, and for a lot of you, I'm sure too. And these are going to get a makeover and some cute little. I'm not sure what I'm going to do to these yet, but these I just bought about a week ago from the dollar spot at Target. And so those really fun. Going to do something fun with those for the spring. And last but not least, here is this cute little milking stool type piece, vintagey. I bought this at the thrift store, and I've just been waiting to do something to it. Feeling like not sure what color and all of that, but I want to show you it. I need to clean it up. I need to give it a good wash. It was $3.99. So cute. Not exactly, I wouldn't actually use this and say it's safe for standing on, but the cutest little piece. And somebody did a great job antiquing this with red, just not exactly the color that I want. And it's very springy, thinking it would be a cute little plant stand or something. But you can see how cute it is, and I grabbed this when I was out, and it's just been sitting in my with some other little wood projects that I have waiting and waiting to be done something cute with. So anyways, those are the three little items we're going to work on today, and I can't wait to get started. So this is all because of these cute little boots that I found at the bins at Target. Okay, these are the little boots. I just got these about a week and a half ago. They were $1, and I had to make something to put in there. So this is going to get they're going to get painted, and I'm just trying to decide on a color. And I spent my morning making little flowers, and it was a lot of fun. But I guess this is the madness of how I get inspired and where I came up with this. Again, I have this cute little fabric that I got from my husband bought for me from Japan. Then I've got some wool felt and beads, and those are all hand felted and by me. Um, so anyways, I've got all this stuff here, and I'm just trying to decide right now what color these boots are going to be. I'm really loving this English yellow. These are our little chalk paints from Sloan. And I think really the boots could go any way, any color. They are like a minty green right now, and this Svenska blue is maybe not going to make the cut for the boots because it's just too close. You wouldn't even see the color. It wouldn't be much different on camera. So I'm thinking they're just so cute, and they're only like, I don't know if these are 3 inches tall. They're just the cutest little things. And so I thought I would share with you just a little bit of my process. And I kind of get inspired a lot by color, and these are just little felt punches and beads and paints and stuff. So those, I had wire out here, and I was making flowers, and they kind of took more time than what I thought, but they are pretty cute. So I don't know. I think they'll match. I think they look like they go with that fabric. So anyways, I have to decide on a color, and then these boots are going to get painted up. Okay, so here's my little recipe box. I did get all the labels off of there was that big label I showed you in the first picture. That was on both sides. It was quite the thing to take that off, but that's off, and we are going to give this cute little box a coat of Sloan chalk paint in Chateau Gray. So I'm going to just open this little can. And give this a stir. Kind of a big spoon here. Actually, these are these cute little wooden spoons, and it just looks big because this is a tiny can. So these little cans are great for fun little projects, and it's not too much of a commitment if you are trying out a new color. And I really like these because I can get more colors for, I guess for the money. And I have a whole little jar of these spoons that then I keep and I reference my color. So that's kind of fun too. Okay. So I've got the little Okay, so that's the first coat, and we're just going to let that dry. This was our cute little footstool. Remember that red footstool from the first picture? And so after I took that little video showing you the footstool and the little recipe box and that, I went and cleaned this up, and the red paint, as soon as I just started wiping just with a little bit of dish soap and water, the color just started running. And so I took it into the utility tub downstairs, and I used a scrubber on it, and paint was just running everywhere. So to clean it up, and then I let it dry, and I mean, let me tell you, I had red, pink everywhere. So I'm not sure what kind of paint was used on this, but I did decide to put 2 coats of Zinsser primer on here, and as you can see, that red still, there was a lot of bleed through. And so this is the cutest little milking stool, little farm stool, the cutest thing. Not safe for standing on because of these little legs, but I just absolutely love it. And another thing I'm really loving right now is this English Yellow by Annie Sloan. It's just so spring, and I thought this would be so cute as a little plant stand or whatever. So I'm going to use this, and we're going to see. I don't know if I need to put more primer on here. If I'm going to be sorry, I hope not. And it's an old stool, so I guess I don't mind if a little bit of the red comes through under here. Sometimes, I'm just going with it on this and hoping that it doesn't turn the stool a funny color. But normally there wouldn't be any priming with the chalk paint, but I want to tell you that, when you're doing a bright color like this, and you guys probably already know this, but because it was red, if I would have painted my nice yellow chalk paint over that, it would have been really dull and kind of like muddy looking. It wouldn't have looked very nice. So I would have done a coat at least of a white chalk paint underneath to cover that red, so that my yellow still is a sunny, beautiful yellow that would pop real nice. So it was going to get a coat of white regardless, and I just decided, after all of that paint mess that I had to go with the primer. And 2 coats, and you know, decided that is, okay, there's a little spot there. You can see that I didn't do very well, but that's okay. So this yellow is so pretty. Okay, so there's our first coat, and I'm going to let it dry. I have one more thing I'm going to do in this yellow. You guys, these are going to be painted yellow. Are they so cute? I already showed this to you, but they were $1 from the Target dollar spot, and just so cute. Oh my gosh. So cute. You have to tell me, what's your favorite color of rain boots for the springtime? Right at the moment, I don't have any. But if I did, I think I would have to go red, maybe. I've had green, like Kelly green, with little turtles on them, and they were so cute. And I wore them until I couldn't wear them anymore. And then I planted flowers in them, and then they finally that was it, and they were done. But you'll have to tell me, what are your favorite rain boots, the color, and all that jazz. So there's our first coat, and we're going to let these dry, and then we're going to give them another coat. Okay, so we've got 2 coats of our English yellow Annie Sloan chalk paint on this little footstool, little milking stool, and our oh so cute little boots here. And I took this outside. My nails are a mess. I took this outside and did a nice little sanding on here to get rid of as many of my paint strokes as I could. And so I'm going to use I've got just a little bit of old white, and I'm just going to do a little stripe around the edge of this boot, this little pair of rain boots here, and see how that looks. I just thought it might be kind of fun to have a little stripe around here. I have a little chisel brush. I'm not sure what's the right kind of brush for this detail, but this looks good to me. There's our little boots. Very cute. Okay, so last I was with you, I had painted this little recipe box in Chateau Gray, and after it dried and I thought about it, I decided to change the color to something a little bit lighter that would go with a little bit more of my decor. And so I decided on this Versailles by Annie Sloan, and love this color. So it's very nice, little box. It's really cute, and a few repairs had to be made, a couple little places where it worked. You know, it's pretty old and has seen better days. I'm going to be doing a treatment on that, so I'm not going to paint over it right now. It'll catch up along the way. So we're going to do a little different, you know, a couple cute little applications to this. First thing that I want to do is do a little bit of stamping on the actual body of the box on the sides. And so I have a stamp set here called Pennsylvania Folk by Iron Orchid Designs. Really, really special stamp set. So I'm going to be using this skinny little stamp right here to go around the outline of my box. And I'm going to be using some white paint that I had. And so I've got a brayer here, and here's my little stamp. And I've just mounted it on this little piece of acetate that's also from Iron Orchid Designs. I have my paint on one. This is great because there's little lines so you can keep things straight. So we're going to use this on the box. So I just want to get my paint, an even coat of paint on here. I don't need too much, just enough. And I'm going to run over this sweet little stamp here. Straight down and a little press and up. Okay. And we're going to turn it and do that again. Actually, we're going to go along the top of the box as well as the bottom. Okay. Doesn't have to be perfect. I want this, you know, it's going to look weathered and whoops. Okay, so let me tell you what happened there. I went on the wrong side of my acetate. Okay, so things happen, and have some wet paper towel for yourself, because don't let this happen to you. All right, so I've got the right side of my stamp facing up. Try that again. Okay. There's a little handle there, so that kind of missed. And like I said, I'm going to do a little distressing on this box once we're all done. So I don't mind if it's not perfect. Actually, this is not much of a stamp, but because it's so long and narrow, it is kind of tricky. Okay. We'll fix that. And we just have one more side here to do. And there's barely any paint on here, you guys. So there we've got our little stamp going all the way around. Not perfect, totally fine. So I'm gonna try to fix that one more time. Okay, so sometimes you got to just leave it the way that it is. Going back in can almost make your little imperfections worse. So I'm going to go with that and say this is the back, and we're going to have this be the front of our box. So I have mapped out the word seeds. So the plan is to center this and get it here or put it down like this. And I don't know what you guys think, but I kind of like it down a little bit better than in the middle. So I'm going to, the goal is to do this word on here. Okay, so I'm inking up my word seeds. Okay. Okay. I'm just going to press those letters straight down and pull it straight up. And I love it. Okay, so that looks very cute. You guys will have to tell me what you think, but I think it's cute. I do have the letters X and O. The goal would be to put those on the back, and I'm going to try putting them right here on the back or on the inside of the box. I don't know. What do you guys think? We're going to be doing something really special to the top of this, so I don't want any stamping on the top. But so far, I mean, it looks really cute, I think. So maybe instead of on the back, we will just do the X and the O right here on the inside. So I'm just going to go over this little X. Going straight down, and being that it's one little letter, very cute. Very cute, and one letter, so I'm not putting a big deal on mounting it on the same acetate. Okay, and here's our O. And straight up. So there we go. And I can touch this up with a little white paint if I want to, but I kind of like that it's just a little, you know, not perfect. So that, I believe, right now is going to be what our box is going to look like. And if we want to add more to it later, you can always add, but it's harder to take away. So I'm going to leave this just like this, and we'll let that start to dry. And I'm going to get out the supplies for the next step of our project. Okay, so I have a tub here of soapy warm water with just some mild dish soap, and I'm going to get some of this paint off of my brayer. And it's all 2 pieces rubber, throwing that in to soak. Here is my little stamps, and I'm throwing those in the soapy water so they also start to soak and get that, you know, paint soaking off. And my last piece of acetate. I would probably take more time to clean that, wipe that off a little bit better before soaking, but because I'm sharing with you today, I'm just throwing that in, and I'm going to let this soak, and we're going to get on to the next step of our project. Alrighty, so our soapy water with our things soaking in there are off to the side. What I want to do, we're going to work on the top of this box, so I'm just giving a little bit of heat to this X and O little stamp here. Be working on this, so I just want to make sure that it's dry, and this is just going to sit there and dry. We're not going to do anything else to that right now. So I'm going to take our stamp set, put that off to the side, and get out our next part of this. Okay. Alrighty, so for the next step of our process here that we're going to be doing, we're going to use some molds on the top of this box, and we're using the mold from Iron Orchid Designs called Primitive, and this is a really special mold, and to me this mold works together with the stamp set that I've used, although I didn't use much of it yet, and I'm not sure how much we're going to be actually, doing any more stamping on there, but these two to me work hand in hand. So we've got some air dry clay from Iron Orchid Designs, absolutely lovely clay, and I have a little paintbrush and some, usually I know they say to use cornstarch, however, I don't have any, so I have baking soda here. But I also want to tell you that this is the cover for the mold, and these are very nice. I keep mine together. I even put them back in the cellophane, and reason being, it's nice for me to file them. I have my molds together. A lot of times they give you ideas on the back, tells you what the name of the mold is, and so anyways, I just like to keep the paper, so I'll get that out of the way. Just wanted to show that to you. So we're using our little, mold and some clay, and I have a little design here that I have in mind to go with my seeds. Took out a piece of clay, okay, this is the clay, and it's actually very squishy, and really nice in your hands, and so that's what I'm going to use. And I'm just going to brush a little bit of that in here, and that helps to release these from the mold. And the detail is really great in here, and you guys probably know all about that. And so what I'm going to do first is just make some flowers, and just pressing a little bit of clay into the mold here and kind of smoothing it flat, and then just pressing that out. That's all there is to this. And so I am going to prepare my little pieces. A little goes a long way with this clay, depending on, what you're doing. But I have found that in my experience, the clay lasts a long time. Bigger molds. So there's a cute little tiny flower. Bigger molds obviously are going to use more clay, but if you're intimidated like I was, start out with something small and don't think of it as intimidating. Just kind of think about you're like playing with clay. And if it doesn't turn out, you can always roll it out again and stick it back in. Make another one. And these molds, when you first get them, they're made out of silicone. They're food safe. And if you wanted to use these to roll fondant, little cute flowers for a cake or something like that, you could use it in the kitchen. And it's also great for candy. I'm sure you could do chocolate in here. Other things too. Once it comes into the craft room, then, you know, no longer would it be safe for food. But it's really great that you can use these for food until they make it to the craft room. So now I've got my little flowers that I need. Now I'm going to go into this little tiny vine here. Leaf, actually. And I'm going to make a few of these. So my next piece I'm going to do is this piece right here. I'm not going to use the full thing, and that's really nice that you can, you know, just make the piece that you want without having to use the entire thing. So I'm going to just do one of these. Okay. Okay. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to just cut it off right there. And then I am going to cut it again right here. And this is going to be the first mold on our lid. Then I'm going to take one of these little tiny little, sort of the same thing, and I'm cutting that. And we're going to glue these down, but I thought I would just get them in place and see what the placement looks like. So I've got 2 flowers, and we're going to take another one of these, and I'm just going to cut down to one of the petals. Okay. And there's another flower. And we're going to do that one more time on the other side. So you can see these don't have to be used the way that they are in the mold. So this is our design taking shape. Okay, so our design is really starting to take shape here. And I'm just going to shake some of this out of the mold. This is all soap and water cleanup. Just mild soap and water. And now I'm going to attempt to use this long this clay starts to dry out a little bit. Throw it back in the bag, because that does happen. It does dry, but it's really lovely. So I'm going to do a piece of this and kind of make a little long piece to go around underneath my flowers here. Okay. Alrighty. I'm going to cut that off in a minute. Okay. So we're going to miter those corners, but we'll just get our pieces all made and do it all at the same time. Alrighty. So one more time. Okay. And I'm going to redo that piece. Baking soda is what I'm using. So I'll just go from this end this time. Okay. See if that comes out. Alrighty. So there is my fourth piece. I'm going to be painting over this again, so no big deal that it is got some white paint there. And I'm going to grab an X-Acto knife to miter my corners. And hope that that worked. There's one. There's number 2. And I'm going to glue this down in just a second. I just wanted to match these up. Okay, one more. I can do that one more time. Okay. So I'm going to grab my glue. This is great glue, and it's by Tight Bond, and this is what we're going to glue all this down. It's a wood glue. So we're going to just glue this down piece by piece. So I'm going to let this dry, and then I'm going to come back in with my treatment over the top. Okay, so this has had time. I just got done cleaning up all my little stamps and brushes and all that stuff. And so this is starting to dry. It's not, anywhere near completely dry, but they say you can paint this clay when it's wet. I mainly wanted the glue to set up with the pieces. And so now what I'm going to do is go over this with some of the Versailles, and not sure what kind of brush is going to work to get in there. I love these molds, but I must say I haven't done a whole lot with them, so I'm just going to get in there and get this paint on things and around things and all of that. Let's try this little brush, see how that works. That feels better. Now, this looks like it belonged to some little old lady in the woods, like from Hansel and Gretel or something. So I'm going to come back in and let this dry and come back in and do another treatment on this. And I just can't stop. It's just much too much fun on this project. So I'm going to let this dry, and so far, here's our little box. And this is what it looks like right now. I think I want to come in and do a white treatment with, like a white wax over, just so that all of those little details will pop and the whole thing will kind of blend together. So after this dries, I will see you. So our 3 projects are going to get a coat of, I'm going to put on some clear wax, Sloan. So I've got my little wax, my waxing brush and a rag, and we're just going to, it's been 24 hours. This is our clear wax, my nice waxing brush. The only thing I use this for is wax. Okay, I've had this for a very long time. So first thing, we're gonna do the little boots, and we're just gonna put some wax on here. It does change the color a little, and that will, as the wax cures and all of that and dries out, it will go back to the same color. But for now, it's going to be a little bit of a darker shade. And I'm not going crazy with this. I'm just going to do the outside, and I'm not going to wax on the inside. Just a little wax. And then we're going to take our little rag and brush off any extra. Okay. Still, again, remember, these started out as little dollar boots, and we're just giving them a little fun. So that's it for today on the boots. Tomorrow we will come back and I'll give them a buff after about 24 hours. So there's my boots. We've got remember our stool. I'm gonna go over this with our wax. Nice to do a few things, just like with painting, when I'm waxing. If I have projects going, doesn't matter what color my project was, when I'm using the clear wax, all of this is, it's just nice to use your brush and wash, less. Work harder, not smarter, right? So there's our wax, and that's going to harden. And last but not least, here's our little box that's been drying for 24 hours. Actually, it's been drying for more like 48 hours. I did paint the bottom. I put in a few nails and to fix it up. When I started painting in that, it really worked. So these nails were put in, and they're going to get covered with, I'm putting on my wax, and then I'm going to go back over this, just this one item in this video, with white wax and distress this. So we're going to do that in just a minute here. So anyways, doesn't take much wax to go over this. And you can kind of tell where you've waxed by that darkening. And you can see my paint job isn't perfect, but that's okay because we're not done yet. So these little boxes, I was actually at the garden center, and they had boxes like this. I saw one at the thrift store yesterday, and it was a square, and it did not have a lid, and I thought, oh, that's really cute, but there's no lid. So then today, being at the garden center, I saw boxes in all different sizes that did not have lids, and they're more like a planter. So that's probably what the box was yesterday that I ran across. But these are very, something you can find probably in a lot of places. So there's our box, and we're going to go over the top of this with our clear wax. Really getting that in there. So there's our little top to our box. So that was our clear wax. Now we're going to use our white wax, okay? And I'm going to go over this little seed box with a coat of white wax. And since my brush was already in the clear, I did the clear first. So now I can just go in my white wax and didn't have to wash my brush. And just going to go over this and get that in those all around my little flowers and all the detail from these awesome molds that Iron Orchid Designs makes. So we can have fun and make pretty things. So I'm really putting this on kind of heavy, and the reason being is I want it to really get in there, and then I'm going to wipe that back. So I really want to get this in these little cracks and things all around my flower and my molding. Now we're going to use this white wax on our box. We already put the clear wax on. And we're going to wipe this off. You can wipe off as much or as little as you want. And I want to get it in, make this box look like it's really old. Fill in those little cracks and things. And the box can be more subtle. It doesn't have to be, you know, that distressed. The nice thing about this, you can put on as much or as little as you want. And wipe it back off. The clear wax underneath makes the surface kind of slippery and gives you the, you know, control of your white wax. So that's kind of fun. And these small projects are great for experimenting, trying out your small paints, your techniques, your stencils, your stamps, how much clay you use. You know, it's really kind of nice. And get that wax all in there. And then start to wipe back, and you really see your little flowers pop and all of that detail and everything. And it just so cute. So looks like it just, you know, aged that way. That little bit of lime or whatever you want to call it. Just looks nice, I think. And like I said, this covers up a lot of imperfections as well. So when I was painting this, to save on paint, again, a small project, and I only did the one, I only had the one coat of the Versailles on here. And the can was small. I've used this for a few projects, and that's another reason that, you know, I like small projects, because I can try out the colors and, you know, not use as much supplies to make these little ones, including my favorite paint. So guys, I think I'm gonna, you know, you can manipulate this around as much or as little as you want, and I'll let it dry, and then finally tomorrow I get to wrap this up so I can share it with you, and we'll give everything a little shine, and I'll show you how they look. One last thing I want to tell you, after you're done with your wax on your brush, you go and you wash your brush immediately with soap, just warm soap and, you know, warm water and some soap like dish detergent. I use, you know, like just dish soap on here, but it will wash up very nice, but you got to go do that right after you're done painting. This I do not ever throw in a Ziploc or a little sandwich bag and leave it for the next day. No, this is one that you take the time and you go and you do it right, and your brush will last you forever. So I leave you with that. So everything has had a good 24 hours to dry with the wax for that to start to harden a little bit. And I did do a little practice over there. So we're going to start over here. Here's our surface. And we're just going to start kind of doing this up. You know, kind of buffing this out. With I just have a t-shirt, an old t-shirt that I cut up into sections. And I'm just going to buff this. And this a section at a time till it gives you the shine that you're looking for. And if it's not shining enough for you, you can always add another coat of wax and go back over. I have done that. I just want a little protection on here without too much, and not sure if you can see that little bit of that shine in the camera, but it's just going to give me a little bit more protection on this stool. So I'm just going to keep working that stool, and you get the idea, and you can kind of see that sheen. Hopefully it shows on the camera. So that is our little stool. Next, you know what we're going to do next. I'm going to use this inside of my cloth and our little boots. And we're just going to start giving these a little shine. And they are, look at that, you can see the shine. And I sanded out as much of the streaking as I could, as I felt was necessary for this. This is just going to be on my desk for the springtime. And just the cutest little thing you ever saw. So I hope you can see that. I mean, they're just shining up so nice. And you saw how much wax I put on. Not a lot. Just enough. And to give those little boots a good shine. This wax will take a good about 30 days to cure, so I'm gonna not have anything, you know, too much sitting right on top of my footstool for a little bit, just so that that wax can cure, and that'll be nice and hardened. And here's our little boots. Look at that. And again, I could work on these a little bit more to get more of that shine to come out. They look pretty good to me. So there's our boots. And they are so cute. I just love those. Lastly, this was our little box. Did not put wax on the inside for obvious, you know, I don't need wax on the inside. It's just going to have some little seeds and little accessory in there or whatever for decoration, and it would be nice in the greenhouse. Actually used for storage for your seeds or whatever. And again, this had the clear wax over the top. I didn't go real heavy on the clear wax on this box so that you could read the lettering. And my little vine detail is enough for me. I could go back and put more of the white wax on here, and that would be nice. And my arm's getting a little tired, but I just want to work at this, take a break. You know, and you can see that little sheen again from the wax, buffing the wax. So we've got a little sheen going, nothing too much, just a little protection in there. And so that's the bottom of our box. And then here is the sweet little top. I did go back and add in some more white wax in those little crevices and around my flowers. And I'm just going to go over this and give this a little shine. I may retouch this up in a few days with a little more buffing. But I just think this turned out really cute. So like so. Waxing this one last, just so my white, if there were any residue, it wouldn't have made any smears on our cute little yellow projects. And using the same rag again, just, waste not, want not. And there's our little box. So cute. And so I'm going to put together a cute little arrangement of these so you can see how cute they are in action. And all the hard work is finally done.